Good morning, 6th grade. It is Friday. Thank goodness we made it to the weekend. And I'm so glad because you all deserve a break. You've been working hard for me, and I appreciate all of the hard work that you've been doing. Before we get started today, I want to tell you that Carly was the winner of our Skittles. Woo! Go Carly! Several of you sent me the correct answer. I was proud of you because I tried to make it easy, but yet not too easy. But Carly was the first one that answered me. So I will maybe do that again next week. I've been trying to think of what I could put in the bag with some good adjectives, but I'll try one more next week to see who wins that one. Let's go ahead and get started today. I'm not going to start off with a devotion this morning. I just have had some things on my heart about being thankful during this time. It kind of tends to get me down. I have a messy house this morning, so whenever I have a messy house, I kind of get so I thought I'm going to start this day off with just whatever that I can think of that I'm thankful for. So I jotted 10 things down, and they are not spiritual things. You all know I'm thankful for God. I'm thankful for the Holy Ghost. I'm thankful for my family. I didn't jot down spiritual things today. So my very first thing that I'm thankful for was coffee. You all know how much I love coffee, and I drank my coffee this morning in one of my cups that Addison got me for Christmas because it's one of my favorites. It's pink. I love pink. I'm also thankful for Amazon. I have been keeping Amazon quite busy. I love to shop, and that's one thing I've been missing. Much to Brother Preston's sadness, I love to shop. So I've been keeping Amazon busy. In fact, this morning I ordered new placemats for my dining room. Why? I don't know, but I did. So hey, I'm thankful for Amazon. I'm thankful for takeout restaurants. We have not been getting very much food from takeout restaurants. I have been cooking and cooking and cooking and cooking. But today I decided I am not going to cook supper tonight. We are going to get something from takeout, and Riley suggested Chili's. So we're going to take out from Chili's. The next thing I am thankful for is online church. Nightly revival services. I think that the day gets long sometimes, especially when 3:30 gets here and I'm completely done with school and I'm moving on to things around the house or finishing up helping Isabella or Landry's school. It is so nice to know that at 7:30 we're just gonna sit down and worship and get online with church. I'm so thankful for that. Number 5, I'm thankful that the weather has been so nice outdoors. Because even when I'm not outside, I'm so thankful I can look outside at the pretty sunshine. Number 6, I'm thankful for dessert. I've been making way too many of them. Like last night at 9:30, I decided to make Rice Krispie treats. You know, I don't need them. None of us need them, but I'm thankful for desserts. I'm thankful for Zoom calls. Every Friday, we have a Zoom call with our small group. At our church, our care group, and it's just so nice to be able to see some of our people that we love so much. Number 8, I wrote down that I was thankful for weekends. Tomorrow's Saturday. That means we all get to sleep in a little bit. Some of you are sleeping in a lot already. I'm not sleeping in other than on Saturdays. Number 9, I am so thankful. This probably should have been my number 1 instead of coffee. I am so thankful for computers and the internet, because it has made this time of distance learning so much easier. Can you imagine where we would be trying to distance learn and me distance teach without them? So I'm so thankful for that. Number 10, the last one that I am thankful for, because I saw one this morning that was hilarious. I am thankful for funny memes during this quarantine time, because I don't want to be, disrespectful with them, but it just feels good to laugh when you're going through things. This morning I sent we have a family text chat thing with just us Pressons, and I don't know why, because we all live in the same home together, but so I sent one out to my family that I saw this morning, and it was 3 Lego people, and they had made a little Lego washing machine. And the meme said, "Don't forget to wash your hands." And the Lego people had all taken their hands off, and that all the yellow hands were in the washing machine. I thought that was hilarious. But anyways, so it's good to laugh even during hard and boring, tough times. So jot down 10 of your things that you're thankful for. If you want to, I would love, love, love to see them. If you want to send them in your next packet, it would make me so happy. Mari sent me this wonderful note today, or not today, I'm sorry, this week. It absolutely just lifted me up, made me so happy, made me miss all of you more. Natalie sent me a note this week that was so sweet, and you will all be happy to hear that Natalie's family is good and stocked on toilet paper. She made sure I was aware of that. So that's a good thing. But it was so good to hear from both of them. And I've heard, I got to see a picture of Carly this week. Carly even has a desk at home that she's working in. Go Carly, go Carly's mom and dad. They're making sure Carly's really prepared. And I know many of you have some classroom situations set up, which is awesome. But let's go ahead and pray. It's Friday, so let's try to get through this day quickly so you can enjoy your afternoon. Let's bow our heads. Dear Jesus, thank you today for this weekend that we have coming up. Lord, I ask that my students will feel your presence in this weekend. I ask that they will take time to get out and enjoy the nice weather this weekend. Lord, I ask that you will touch all the unspoken needs in each and every one of my sixth graders' lives. Lord, you know the needs are great, but God is greater, and I thank you for that. Lord, I pray that you will continue to touch their bodies and keep them safe from any sickness, from any harm. I pray that you will uplift their spirits at this time when our spirits tend to want to get down. I pray that you will just uplift them and let them feel your peace and your comfort. Help them today on the remainder of this school week. I pray that everything that I teach to them, Lord, that they will absorb in their mind and in their spirit, and that they will understand. And I give you the praise and the glory, Lord, for you are so very good to us, and I thank you for your goodness. In Jesus' name, amen. And we will start with math today, and I will see you in math. So get your math book ready, and I'm going to move my podium over to my math section of the basement. We are opening up to page 237 in math. Today is a review day, which is good, which is great for Friday. I think our biggest struggle today is for me to be able to help you to understand what needs to be put on paper and what needs to be put on in your book for me to grade. So I'm going to go through this slowly, just so you will know exactly what I need on paper, what I will be grading for today. I did put on your syllabus to watch on YouTube each day so that you will know what you need to do on paper. So I hope you're doing that, because I do have to give zeros if I don't get these papers turned in. So make sure you're listening every day about what needs to be put on paper. Let's start on page 237 and 238. Actually, I just have 237 on your syllabus, but it does go over to page 238. So, number one, it says mark under the measures of acute angles. If you need to review acute and obtuse angles, please go back in your book and do that. You're welcome to do that. So, for number one and number two, you do not have to write down all the numbers. Only write down the answers that are acute. So, I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to put number one on my line on my notebook paper. And I'm going to write 37 degrees because it is acute. I'm not going to write 100 degrees because it is obtuse. I hope that helps. So just go down the line and give me the acute ones on number one. On number two, go down to the line and just give me the obtuse ones. You do not have to put all of them down and write a circle and fill that in. Just give me the acute, just give me the obtuse. Very important, make sure your name is at the top of your homework paper. With math and with these two pages, please, 237 and 238. Let's go on down to number two. To number three. It says write the area formulas. Yes, I need that on notebook paper. Just write A, B, C, D, and so on, and give me those answers. Hopefully you have your formula paper, because that will make it much easier. If you don't, you will need to look your formulas up in your book. Number 4A, complete the chart. All you have to do is give me 4A. You do not have to do 4B. They have given you the radius of 5 meters. Therefore, you need to give me the diameter, which is the longest from one side of the circle to the other, the circumference, and the area. Yes, I will need to see your work for circumference and area. Yes, I will need to see your formula. Yes, I will need to see your label at the end of your answer. Also, make sure you're putting those decimal points in. I was grading some of your math work yesterday that you turned in last Thursday. Some of you are still not putting those decimal points in, and they are very important to your answer. Let's go on down to number 5. Number 5, you're doing all of them. You're measuring those angles with your protractor, and just give me A, B, C, D, and E on your notebook paper with those degrees. You do not have to put the name of the angle next to it. Just give me A and the degrees. I'm going to give you a big hint here. Angle AOB is measuring at 40 degrees. So on your notebook paper, you will have 5A, 40 degrees. That's what I'll be looking for. Let's go on down to number 6. Number 6, you do not have to do on paper. I want to do that with you really quickly though, and you can just write it in your book. Let's go over these. Letter A is super easy. Again, I want to say this does not have to be on notebook paper because I'm doing it with you. 6A has 3 sides all the way back to kindergarten. What shape is that going to be? A triangle. 6B has 4 sides. Now, this could be a rectangle or a square, so they're looking for a different name for it. And I'm hoping that Brianna is saying quadrilateral on B. And 5 sides. I hope Carson is saying that's a pentagon. And 6 sides. Dylan, hope you're shouting out hexagon. That's a hexagon. 7 sides. Ariana, hope you're saying heptagon. Let me spell that for everybody. It's HEPTAGON. And 8 sides. Everybody should know that one. It's an easy one. It is an octagon. OCT for octopus and octagon. Octopus has 8 legs. So get those written in your book for me. Next, we are jumping up to 7 on page 238. All you have to do is 7A. Yes, 7A needs to be on notebook paper. They're giving you need to draw the circle. They're giving you a diameter of 4 centimeters, but you will not use the diameter on your compass. You're going to use something else. You'll have to figure out the radius. We open our compass to our radius. And that's actually an easy one, so I'm not going to give you any more hints on that. Let's go on down to number 8, so you will know what to do on number 8. Number 8. Let's do number 8 on the board. I'm not going to give you the final answer, but it is 4 to the 6th power. Oh, good. You can see that really well. Now, we know we're not going to multiply 4 times 6. The answer is not 24. No. We're going to multiply 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. I think I need one more. Times 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Now, one way that this might be a little bit easier is if you multiply 4 times 4, 4 times 4, and 4 times 4. That would be 16 times 16 times 16. So that might be a little bit easier. Then you could go down and multiply 16 times 16. So do that over here and get that answer, and then multiply that times 16. And then you would have multiplied all of your 4s. And I know I did that quickly, so you can pause that if you need to. Pause me and work on that. But you will have an answer. I'm going to give you a hint. Your answer will be in the thousands, so you'll have 4 numbers for that answer. Going on down to, still in number 8. Going on down to H. Don't forget to change your first fraction to an improper fraction before you multiply. And also to K. Many of you struggled with this on your speed drill that I graded this week. Let's go over that really quickly. How many times did you multiply your denominator of 8 to get 64? Figure that out. Now, once you have that answer, you're going to multiply 7 times that same number to get your numerator. Many of you were giving me what you multiplied 8 times to get 64 as your numerator. You have to take that number and multiply that number times your 7. So I hope that gives you a big hint there. Also, going down to number 9, I'm going to cross off 9A and B today. So if you're watching YouTube, you just got a big break. Forget 9A and B. I've given you enough work for Friday. So don't worry about doing that. So just get the rest of that work done for me, and I will get that graded and get that back to you. And I am going to be moving to language next. And we've been talking about adjectives. As you know, we read a bug book yesterday with ginormous bugs, pretty bugs, stinky bugs, ugly bugs. Our adjective gives details to our nouns, and we're picking up right away today on page 193. Adjectives such as cross-country in the following sentences are hyphenated to show that the two words work together to form one adjective. That's not a big deal. We know that the word cross-country is actually one word. Even though it's two put together, it's actually one word. And it can work as an adjective. And here it does in our example. Several cross-country runners crossed the finish line at the same time. A proper adjective formed from a compound proper noun, becomes a compound proper adjective. Again, don't let all the wordage here confuse you. This is very easy. Alexander Graham Bell's is considered one adjective. There's 3 names, but it's one person, it's one adjective, and they're all capitalized. That's all it's telling you. If I said, let's see, if I said Hunter Lindsay's cat, whose cat is it? It's Hunter Lindsay's, therefore Hunter Lindsay is an adjective. They're capitalized, it's 2 words, but it's still just one adjective. I think that's easy. We don't need to spend a whole lot of time on that. Here's our blue example. Alexander Graham Bell's mother was a devout Christian. Alexander Graham Bell's 3 words, one person, all proper nouns, but can still be an adjective. In a compound noun such as French Revolution or hot dogs, both words are considered a part of a noun. French does not modify revolution, and hot does not modify dogs. So we do kind of have to stop and get our magnifying glass out and look at those a little carefully, but I still don't think you're going to have much trouble with that. If an entry is listed as a compound noun in the dictionary, then you know not to call any part of it an adjective. So again, hot dog, we're not going to say hot is describing dog. It's just a hot dog. We are not going to do page 193 other than the yellow box because we don't all have our dictionaries with us. So we're going to go over to page 194. And yes, page 194 does need to be on notebook paper. So language in the top corner, page 194 with your name on it, please. Let's go over these directions. It's a noun, it's a verb, it's super adjective. Many words, this is where language gets kind of tricky. Many words can be used as several parts of speech. You cannot tell what part of speech a word is until you determine its use in the sentence. So basically, you just have to talk yourself through each one of these and dig the answer out. I want to do some of these with you. So actually, let's just number 1 to 10 on your paper. We're not going to do 11 through 17. And I'm going to do 1 and 2 with you. As you'll notice, once you start going, they use the same word in 2 sentences. For example, number 1, in bold, the word is newspaper, and number 2, in bold, the word is newspaper. But the word has a different job in both of those sentences. So you have to figure out what job does it have. Let's read these directions. Identify the words in bold. In the blank, write V for verb, N for noun, PRO for pronoun, or ADJ for adjective. Let's read number 1 together. The newspaper article about our school play was posted on the bulletin board. So let's ask ourselves, what job is newspaper playing? Is it a verb? Is it a noun, a pronoun, or an adjective? Newspaper here is not showing action, is it? We know it's not a verb. Is it a noun? Now, a newspaper is a person, place, or thing, but here they're talking about newspaper article. So it's not going to be a noun. It's definitely not a pronoun. We have a list of pronouns in our books, and it is not on that list. Therefore, it is definitely an adjective. Newspaper is describing article. What kind of article? Newspaper article. So number 1 is ADJ for adjective. I hope you're able to see that. Number 2, did you see the headlines in today's newspaper? Definitely not a verb here. No, it's not showing action. Can you newspaper? I cannot newspaper. Definitely not an action. Now, did you see the headline in today's newspaper? Is newspaper being a person, place, or thing here? Yes, it is. It's just being a newspaper that you sit and read. So in this sentence, newspaper is a what? A noun. So I hope that helps everybody with those examples. You are doing on your own numbers 3 through 10. You do not have to do 11 through 17. It does have to be on notebook paper. We're not doing Write B. We're going right over to page 195. And again, we're writing our parts of speech for the bold words. We're looking for nouns, pronouns, or adjectives this time. We're not looking for verbs, so that eliminates a little bit of it. I'm going to do 1 through 10 with you. So on your notebook paper, you will only have to number 11 through 25 and do that on your own. First of all, I'm just going to go through and read the entire paragraph. The submarine, an important part of any Navy's fleet, has long been used for underwater warfare. Cornelius van Drebbel, a Dutch inventor, failed to stir up much interest when he demonstrated his leather-covered submarine in 1620. People did become interested, though, when an American patriot named David Bushnell attacked a British ship during the War for Independence in a one-man submarine called, of all things, the Turtle. It was made of wood and was driven by propellers which Bushnell turned by hand. Robert Fulton, the inventor of the steamship, built his own submarine in 1800. We all have read about Robert Fulton. Many other inventors tried their hand at building submarines during this time. These were often strange-looking craft. Sometimes they were equipped with sails. Some of them even had wheels for traveling on the ocean floor. None of them were really successful. During the Civil War, the Confederates used submarines widely. One sub, the Hunley, sank a Union warship, but sank itself as well. The U.S. Navy got its first submarine in 1900, and submarines played a vital role in both world wars. And you have been hearing about that actually in history. Do you remember what they were called in history? I would throw out a ticket or candy if we were all together. They were called U-boats. From strange-looking submarines of long ago have come today's sophisticated nuclear-powered submarines which protect and defend our Navy and our nation. So I'm going to do numbers 1 through 10 with you. Let's go ahead and start on number 1. The first one in bold is submarine. The submarine. Definitely not a pronoun. It's not describing anything here. It's just a thing. So what is it going to be, Daniel? It is going to be a noun. Number 2, an important part of any Navy's fleet. I think this one is easy. What is Navy describing here? What kind or whose fleet? The Navy's fleet. What word do we use for descriptive words? An adjective. I hope I heard Lucas say adjective. So number 2 is ADJ. Has long been used for I skipped one. Number 3, fleet. So look at this. If Navy is describing fleet, and if adjectives describe a noun, what do we automatically know that fleet is? Fleet is a noun. Number 4 is underwater warfare. I'm going to ask Owen this question. What kind of warfare? Underwater. Underwater is describing warfare. Therefore, underwater, Owen, is going to be, let me hear you say, adjective. Woohoo! Going down to number 5. Failed to stir up much interest. We know it's not a pronoun. I guess we don't have verb as a choice here, so let's not talk about that. So is it a noun or is it an adjective? Is interest describing when? Definitely not. So interest here is going to be a, hope Ariana said, noun. Noun. First time we've used this one on number 6, when he. Oh, easy peasy. What does a pronoun take the place of? Takes the place of a noun. He, she, it, we, they, them. Number 6, he is being used as a, let's hear Carly say, pronoun. Pronoun. Going on to number 7. People did become interested, though, when an American patriot. What's American doing here? America is a noun, but when you add that ending with the N, it turns it into a descriptive word. American is describing patriot. Therefore, Ella, it is going to be what? It is going to be an adjective. Number 8. Lost my spot here. British ship during the War for Independence in a one-man submarine called the Turtle. Let's see, who do I want to pick on this time? How about Addison? Addison, we know that one man is not a pronoun. We know that man could be a noun, but what is it really, what job is it doing here? It's describing submarine. Therefore, Addison, submarine is going to be an adjective. And number 9, it was made of wood and was driven by propellers. I hope I heard all of my 6th grade from all over Maryville and Friendsville and Knoxville scream out that it is a pronoun. Pronoun. And number 10, it was made of wood and driven by propellers. Not a pronoun. Is it describing anything here? Nope. So what's it going to be? Our third option. It is a person, place, or thing. It is a noun. So I will be grading 11 through 25. Please talk yourself through each of these words. Ask yourself the questions that they might answer. Is it a person, place, or thing? Is it a pronoun? Is it on my pronoun list? Is it describing a noun? That will help you out with these. You do not have to do go back at the bottom of page 195. And we will be moving into health next. All right, 6th grade, we are in health on Friday. I have missed some highlights for you in health. So I want you to go back with me and double check that I have all of these, because next week I'm going to be sending home quite a few worksheets. So I want you to make sure you have these highlights. So page 28 in health, let's go there first. I might have told you some of these, so just bear with me. First aid, in the very first column in bold. First aid, the emergency care given to a person who is injured or suddenly becomes ill. I'm going to go through these quickly, so if you need to pause and come back, you can do that as well. Page 29, highlight emergency medical technician, EMT. You need to know that's the abbreviation for that. Flipping on over to page 30. Highlight at the bottom of the first column in bold, the most effective treatment given for injuries such as soreness, muscle strain, or sprain is known as the Rice treatment. And I think you did some of this reading on your own, so it's a good thing I'm going back over this. So highlight that. Top of page 31, a muscle strain is a result when a muscle is pulled to the point of tearing. Also in that same column under stretched to the limit, it says a sprain is the result of a stretched or torn ligament. and then skip a line and go down and highlight that it becomes stiff and swollen. We've had several of those in my house, unfortunately. Page 32, very top of the column, about 4 lines down, it says, to avoid sprains, increase your flexibility. Warm up slowly and stretch before each exercise time. So important. Not that I exercise a lot. I should, but I don't. Broken bones and dislocations. Going down to that, highlight a fracture is defined as a break, chip, or crack in a bone. Happened a lot of times at my house. One time, tell you a quick story. You know me, I've got to talk somewhere in here. Riley was on a tree swing at my parents' house, and he was, I don't know, probably in 4th grade, 5th grade, something like that. And he flew off of the tree swing, which he'd done many times. You know how you jump off of a swing and land on your feet. But he didn't land on his feet, he fell on his arm. And so I heard him cry out. I was actually in the house, but I heard him cry out because it was like one of those screams, cries that, you know somebody's in pain. And so I run out of the door, and he's there holding his arm, but his arm is so broken that instead of it being straight like this, it's hanging down in a U. He broke this bone completely, so his whole arm was just, it was really, really nasty. And he was in much pain. It was very pitiful. My heart hurt for him. We did take him to the emergency room, and he did have to have surgery on that little arm. But sadly, that was not the first. That was just one of the many of Riley's broken bones. Let's go on down to the bottom of the first column in 32. A simple fracture is a crack or a break that does not pierce through the skin. So a lot of times, many of you have broken bones, but the bone has not come through the skin, thank the Lord. That is called a simple fracture, although there's usually not anything simple about it. Page 33. A splint is a support to the injured body that will help to immobilize it, preventing further damage. This next week, you'll be getting a worksheet, and it on the back of the worksheet is a picture of this gentleman down here that's needing a leg splint, and you're supposed to draw the leg splint on there. You don't have to do that back of that worksheet if you don't want to. That's just fine with me, and I'll make a note of that to do only the front. But if you want to do the back, you're welcome to do the back also. Let's go on over to page 34. Nothing I need to highlight on 34, but on 35, I know I did some of that reading with you, and I cannot remember if we highlighted right above the picture of the stitches. If a cut is deep and bleeds heavily, it may require stitches. Did we highlight that? I have 2 health books here. No, we did not. So go ahead and highlight that for me. And today in health, we are picking up on page 36. And we are, am I correct in that? Yes, we're picking up at contact poisoning. However, on page 36, you do need to highlight first column in italics under bzz, be careful. Highlight, if you get stung but are not allergic to bees, you should remove the stinger as quickly as possible by scraping it with your fingernail. And you can stop highlighting there. And we're picking up at contact poisoning. I might not read all of this with you today, but I am going to read some of it. Contact poisoning. Plants such as poison ivy and poison oak can leave an irritating poison on any skin with which they come in contact. I have never personally had poison ivy or poison oak. I've had students, though, that have had it, and they have been very miserable. Not sure if any of you 6th graders had. I wish we could discuss it. Although not everyone has an adverse reaction to this poison, those who do have a reaction experience a rash with possible blistering, swelling, burning, and itching. Highlight this. Poison ivy and poison oak are easily spread in several ways. When contaminated clothing comes into contact with a person's skin, a person scratches an infected area. Stop highlighting there. We can't help ourselves but to scratch it. We shouldn't, but we can't help it. And then after you scratch the infected area, you scratch an uninfected area, or a person touches an infected area of someone else who has come into contact with either of these plants. To treat contact poisoning, first, remove any contaminated clothing. Your clothing should be washed to prevent the plant's oils from getting on unaffected parts of your body. I'm sorry, it's Friday, having a hard time reading. Wash the affected area of skin thoroughly with soap and cool water to remove any poisonous residue. Be careful that the water used to clean the area does not spread the poison. So when you run that water over, like, don't run it over your whole arm, just run it over the part of your arm that might have the poisoning. If a rash develops, it is accompanied by itching or burning, apply calamine lotion. That can just be found at any of your Walgreens or Walmart pharmacies. Down to the bottom paragraph, occasionally poison ivy or oak can cause a severe reaction in someone who comes in contact with it. If that person develops a fever for several days or experiences any excessive amount of all of these things listed, including any oozing, go to your doctor. Safety tips at the top of the second column. Do not scratch the affected area. Scratching spreads the poison, but so hard not to scratch it. Scratching may also cause infection, which will delay its healing. High temperature traumas. And we're coming up on summertime, so this is important. Thoughts of summertime bring with them the anticipation of hot weather activities. Hiking, baseball, swimming, sunbathing, and other activities are popular during this time. However, if you do not consider the harmful effects of extreme heat and sunlight and plan to avoid them, they could certainly cause serious harm. Overdone by the sun. I think we have all had miserable sunburns, causing peeling and burning, so you all know a little bit about this. A suntan is the skin's attempt to protect itself from the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays. Overexposure to the sun may cause a serious burn that will need medical attention. The signs of sunburn include redness, pain, possible swelling, and blistering. Let's go down to our safety tips because you need to highlight something in that. Apply sunscreen at least 15 minutes before you're exposed to the sun. That's what you need to highlight. If you will be swimming, use a waterproof sunscreen and reapply every hour. Turning on over to page 38. I'm in the middle of a sentence there. To get relief from minor sunburn, take cool baths, apply ice or cool wet towels to the affected areas, or apply a light lotion containing aloe vera. We have a tube of aloe vera here at my house, and we use that every time somebody gets a sunburn. It just gives it a really cool sensation. It doesn't sting your skin or anything. A severe sunburn can cause chills, fever, weakness, and dizziness, and you should call your doctor if that's happening. All skin cancers are caused by overexposure to the sun's ultraviolet rays. You should protect your skin when you are in the sun. To prevent burning, you should wear sunscreen with a sun protection factor of 15 or higher. Now, ladies, if you don't want a lot of wrinkles when you get old like me, protect your skin from the sun. I never did a good job of that. I still don't really do a good job of it now. I do use some sunscreen. A couple of the past summers we have gone to the beach and I used a sunscreen and it worked. It was amazing. And then I came home from the beach and I had a picnic outside with my family, forgot my sunscreen, and got severely burnt. And everybody thought I had gotten burnt because I was at the beach. But no, I took care of myself at the beach, but not on the picnic. So it's very important that you take care of yourself, because when you get old like me, you get all these wrinkles, and you can buy expensive creams and they don't work. I do want to say that Sister Masa Kano is very careful with her skin. She is the same age as I am. She has beautiful, beautiful, beautiful skin, because one of her goals has been to keep it out of the sun. So that proves that it works. Wear a hat, wear a sun visor, wear your sunscreen so you don't get wrinkles. All right, moving on. I don't know why I got sidetracked on that. Hot weather cramps. Ethan's in our health book today. Ethan was excited about the state track meet coming up and was training hard to prepare for it. The weather was extremely hot after school on Monday, but Ethan wanted to practice his 1 mile run. On his third lap, he began to get sharp pains in his lower leg and was unable to keep running. I think we have all experienced these muscle cramps, and they hurt. His coach was soon at his side, asking him what had happened. He told him that his calf muscle had suddenly become very tight and painful. Ethan had developed what is called a muscle cramp. A muscle cramp is a sudden, very sudden, painful spasm of several muscles in the same area. Muscle cramps that occur after a period of exertion are frequently due to dehydration. So the more water you drink when you're out doing those things, the better it is for your body. I'm going on down to the next paragraph. To relieve the pain of a muscle cramp, gently massage the area to loosen the tightened muscles or lightly stretch out the muscles. When the pain subsides, gradually stretch the muscles until they feel warm and relaxed. If you get a muscle cramp as a result of overexertion, especially in hot water, you need to replenish the liquids that you lost during exercise. And I'm going to let you read the rest of that paragraph on your own. I know that you all know that Avery has a sickness that we keep an eye on very carefully, and one of the symptoms of that is severe muscle cramps. And he has those often, especially when he's a little bit sick. He gets them in the night, or if he's in the hospital, he has crazy cramps in his body. But he used to play soccer when he was still in high school. And for a while, the doctor took him out of soccer, and his mom wished that he had stayed out of soccer. But Brother Zach wanted him to play soccer. So he got back in soccer, and often on the soccer field, he would get these exact severe muscle cramps. And he would have to lay down on the ground, and Brother Zach would have to go out and help him get those cramps out. So, and it was usually because of dehydration, because Avery has to drink a lot more things like Gatorade and all that than most people do. But they are a very real thing. So they are painful. Stay hydrated when you're out doing those sports. A sweltering state. When a person's body reacts to extreme heat by sweating profusely, which means excessively, becoming very tired and weak, and possibly even collapsing, he is probably suffering from heat exhaustion, another very real thing with summer and spring sports. Some of the most common symptoms of heat exhaustion include pale, cool, moist skin, headache, nausea, and dizziness. The victim will often feel cold even though you're hot, and have a near normal body temperature. Heat exhaustion can be dangerous if it is not treated right away. When a person sweats, a great deal of your body fluids sweat out, including liquids from your blood. When someone loses body fluids, the nutritional needs of his body cells are not met. And I'm going to let you finish up of what you can do to keep that from happening. Let's go on down to a feverish plight. God designed your body. Don't even get me started on how amazing our bodies are and how amazing God has designed them, because it blows my mind. Riley is in nursing right now, or he's going to school for nursing, going to college for nursing. And of course, he's been doing college at home during this time. And so I listen in on a lot of his college courses because they're very interesting. But some of the things that he is learning about our body are things that I did not know. And the way that God has created them just proves what an incredible God he really is. I got to keep reading because it's Friday and I'm getting sidetracked. So here we go. Once on the skin, these fluids evaporate and cool the body. Highlight this. Heat stroke occurs when the sweat glands do not function properly. Heat trapped inside the body causes a person's body temperature to rise between 103 to 110 degrees. Highlight that whole section from heat stroke all the way down to 110 degrees. That's insane. If you have a heat stroke and your temperature is at that level, you need to call our EMTs to come take you to the hospital. When the body temperature becomes this high, body tissue can be destroyed and death may result. That's how important this is, 6th grade. Because heat stroke is a life-threatening condition, emergency care is needed immediately. Some warning signs of heat stroke include hot, flushed, dry skin, high fever, a weak rapid pulse, rapid shallow breathing, and possible unconsciousness or someone passing out. It is important to cool the victim's body quickly. Place him in cool water. Massage his head, neck, arms, and legs with ice. Spray him with cool water and put him in a room with a fan or air conditioner. If he is able to drink, give him some water. Do not give a heat stroke victim any type of medication. But number one right here, be sure to call for medical assistance. That's just where I would leave that. I wouldn't try to treat it myself. Safety tips. Persons under 15 and over 40 years of age are at a high risk for having heat exhaustion. So you know what? That group includes you and that group includes me. So take it easy this summer, 6th grade. Know the difference between heat stroke and other heat-related conditions. And that's where we're going to stop today. And just think, when you're out this summer playing in the yard or whatever, I won't be able to call you 6th graders anymore because you're going to be 7th graders. That's crazy. All right, we're stopping on health. And we will pick up on, actually, let's go straight to reading. Let's talk about that for a minute. Today, you're supposed to choose something fun to read around your house. Set a timer. Wow, I had a little typo there. Set a time rand rear for 15 minutes. Set a timer and read is what that's supposed to say for 15 minutes. Even if it's something from when you were younger, a book or a magazine. I know Isabella has a ton of Diary of, what are those called? Diary of a Wimpy Kid books. She loves those. So if you have anything like that, just take 15 minutes for me and read to yourself those because it's Friday and we need to read something fun. So we will be moving on to, wait a minute. I have just done Thursday's reading with you. I'm so glad I caught that mistake. I've just done Thursday's reading with you instead of Friday's. That's ridiculous of me. But, oh well. So I read Thursday's reading, which you're supposed to read on your own. So at least get the highlights from that. And you need to read 39 to 40 on your own for Friday. You also have a quick checkup due for today. So that's on page 41. I cannot believe I made that mistake. Actually, I can believe I made that mistake. So do that quick checkup on 41. And yes, that needs to be on notebook paper. Yes, put your name on it. Yes, put health. And yes, put page 41 for me. And let me give you the highlights really quickly for Friday. See, my day, this is not actually Friday for me. That's why I'm so confused right now. Let's go to bottom of page 39. You have a highlight there. Frostbite, the freezing of body tissue. Highlight that. You also have a highlight at the second column on page 40. Hypothermia, which occurs when the body temperature drops below normal. So, let me clarify this. I read Thursday's work to you, which you read yesterday. You need to read Friday's on your own, which I thought I was reading with you, but you do need to do quick checkup. And I gave you today highlights for all of chapter 2, which you need. So this crazy teacher is signing off of health, and I will meet you in history next. 6th grade, you are opening up to page 230 in history. And I'm going to have you do on your own reading today for history. We have a lot of highlights on this section though. So I'm hoping that I remember on Monday to go back and give you your highlights. I'm going to try to make myself a note for that. So highlights on Monday. So you're reading pages 230 to 232 today. I believe you have a worksheet, page 53. Many of you have asked me on these worksheets because they are the same thing as your tests and quizzes, but they're just counting as homework grades right now. If you have to put page numbers for the answers, you do not have to put page numbers for the answers. Some teachers are requiring that, but I'm just not going to have you do that. So if you will just take time to look up the correct answers so that you can get good grades on those, that will make me happy, happy, happy. So read pages 230 to 232. Do your worksheet, unless you've already done that and turned it into your folder. I'm hoping that your parents went by and picked up your work this morning. So if you are just now doing Friday's work today, this worksheet can be turned in the following Friday, which again is very confusing, but that's the way we're doing it. So have a great weekend. I hope all of you will tune in online to church on Sunday with your families. Make sure you are worshiping in your home. Stand up, clap, sing, raise those hands, say amen. Let's have church in our homes, even though we can't all be together. I love you all so much. Have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you on Monday, and we will start this all over again. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.